My name is Sarah. I'm a specialist in emotional education and sexuality prevention. And today I will bring the 5 main reasons why children don't talk about abuse that they are going through or that happened to them before. So, first, it's lack of information. The child doesn't know what is abuse, and the child usually has a connection to the abuser. This abuse happens in situations that are familiar to the child: going to the toilet, changing the clothes, taking a bath, when we go behind somewhere picking up something. So it's situations that are normal, and they are confused by normal life situations because, let's put it, that the abuser is the grandfather or is the father and helps to go to the toilet or to change the diaper. Other people in that child life has done that. So the child doesn't have a reference to distinguish that this act is good, this act is not good. They don't know it's abuse. But what do they feel? What do they know? It's that feels bad, right? But again, the reference of feeling bad, it's not reliable for them because they have to have experience before in their life that felt bad, and we adults don't understand as abuse. For example, I will not let my child play anymore. I need to bring him from the playground, and then he is crying. Or I left in nursery or a kindergarten and I don't want to be there. I'm not judging any of those things. I did it myself. But what happens is, for the child experience, it comes a feeling bad that for the general of the adults, we don't classify that as abuse. So the child doesn't have the reference that when this feels bad, it's not supposed to be happening. No one else is agreeing with this. We need to empower our children by teaching them what it's intimate parts, what it's private parts, what it's the good touch and the bad touch, and what is allowed, what is the difference between changing a diaper and putting some cream or rubbing, for example, a sexual organ, or the way around. The adult will not ask the child to touch the intimate part. So we need to explain the settings and the circumstances so the child can identify the differences of abuse, from who and where. Two, confusion. The person who abuses the child, in 85% of the cases or more, is a family member or deeply connected with the family, like a caregiver that comes often, like a nanny or neighbor, or someone that it's like in the network that the other adults that are connected to the child and protect the child also trust. So the child gets this reference. And it's confusing because imagine that has a strong emotional bond, like for example, if it is the father, it will happen that it's like, okay, this person that is supposed to love me and to protect me and also has this thing good and this thing there and takes me here and buys me that and does this, and in the middle of this abuses. So it is confusing, emotional confusing for the child, that it's happening, that to perceive that, okay, this is okay, this it's not okay. And because I already have one element that is super bad, I should not accept the others. If we don't teach this to the child, we don't know. They could be grooming, grooming. It's preparing the parents and preparing the child for that connection to be built. So then the child trusts the parents or the people around, the caregivers, trust the abuser, and then the abuser abuses. And if we don't teach this to the child will not know the difference, okay? The 3, 4, and 5 are 3 main emotions that come in any victim of any type of abuse. So the third one is shame. What is shame? Shame is the mechanism of self-rejection. The child tends, and it's a normal process in every human being, to internalize the abuse or the bad situation. If something has happened that it feels bad, then it means I'm bad. If something is happening to me that I don't like, that is unpleasant, I deserve it. And then if it feels bad, I don't want it, so I reject it. I put it away. So the shame comes, and don't allow, when the shame arises, don't allow the child to talk about it, because it's something that I'm pushing away. I want to hide. I feel bad. I don't even want to remember. I don't want to think about it. That's why also many victims will go into denial and just have remembering when we are adults, because we cannot handle the situation. We want just to push it away, and we make it about ourselves. So it's something that I don't want others to know, because I fear they will also reject me. Okay. The fourth, it's guilt. And the guilt, it's a mechanism different from the shame. Many people confuse, but it's not the same. It's to cope with powerlessness. What is this? It's the I have this in the book that I'm writing. We have survival mechanisms that tell us that if we are in danger, that is an emotional danger, we need to protect ourselves, otherwise we will die. So when we feel extremely powerless, that emotional mechanism will be activated. Okay, so our brain will do everything to regain control over the situation. So we feel we are in control. But in an abusive situation, especially between an adult and a child, or even a husband and a woman, it's like in an adult relationship, what happens is we don't feel empowered. That is, even if it's real or perceived imbalance of power. This is what I want to say. What happens in this situation, it's like we feel so powerless that we cannot accept that I cannot change the situation. There is nothing I can do. That person can just come and hurt me. But then if I blame myself and I say, no, it's my fault, then I feel that there is something that I can do. Okay, maybe if I don't wear this skirt, maybe if I don't say these words, maybe if I don't go there, maybe if I don't accept the toy, yeah, it was my fault, Why? Because then the child feels empowered to change. It's because I chose to. It's because I put myself in these circumstances. And then it's a false sense of gaining control over the situation. So it's not about the person coming and I don't have power to change this. It's about me changing my own behavior. So I will blame myself for the situation because then I feel there is something I can do about it. Okay? And the last but not the least, it's fears. And I said in plural because there are many. The most obvious is that the child will perceive the abuser as someone danger because the abuser makes it so. Usually they also paint themselves as being more powerful than what they are. So they will threaten that they will kill the mom, even though it's not feasible in their reality. They will kill the parents, they will burn the house down, there is something bad happening to them. They use situations, for example, someone got sick and then they go and blame the child because they already know the mechanism of self-blame and guilt, it's in place. So they use those emotions there. And then this will make the child feel that, okay, I'm scared of that person, of what they can do. So they believe in the threat, okay? And then it's also connected with losing connection. They will say that the child will lose connection to the mom. If she tells or he tells the mom what is happening, the mom will not like them. The mom will disapprove of them. And then again, they reinforce this with usual things. For example, I'm put out with something and then I said, how you say this in English? I called them out on something. Or I got mad or upset because the toy is out of place, or I don't know, just giving random examples. When in normal situations that I actually could be mad at my child, then the abuser, when they are isolated, when they're talking, use this situation to reinforce that sensation. You see, she will not like if you tell about this. It's not like it's not something that she will approve. And this also happens with parents that are very careful and already, for example, taught something but not complete to the child about intimate parts you don't touch there, or we catch the child putting the hands in public spaces or exposed. Oh, don't do that. And we go fast and put the hands up. Or we are dressing up and they entered our room and you go like, oh, no, because mom is naked. It's like a certain age that we are already not comfortable being naked around them. So what happens is they build the idea in their head, my mom will never accept this. If they know that I went through this, they already know it's bad, she already told me, so I'm doing something that I shouldn't. So it's like the fear of losing connection to the dear ones. And then the abuser reinforces this idea with his fears of threat, of emotional manipulation, and takes it further into guilt and shame that the child is already using, okay, is already feeling. So, in resume, we have these 5 main points, and they are not to be looked separately, okay? They build up on each other and they are entangled. It's not like the child feels shame, but the guilt doesn't come, or just feels guilty, but it's not scared, okay? All of those are entangled. and they build up. If the abuse is continuous, not one isolated time, usually, like I said, due to the closeness of the abuser, it's something that it's repeatedly going on. So in this case, that the abuse is continued, they will build up on each other and grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So the bigger it grows, the hardest it will be to pierce in that the child comes forward and tell us what is going on. Even though at some point we may already notice that something is going on. I made a post of all the signs and symptoms that the child has when they go through abuse, okay? This is just to summarize that they build up on each other and they don't go isolated. And the longer it goes, the abuse, the harder it gets to pierce through them, okay? So follow me for more information. Much love, Sarah.